The great hall of the elders was always silent, but on this day the silence felt heavier, like something unseen was pressing on their chests. The room was made of ancient stone, lit only by glowing blue crystals. Every elder sat in the circle, their long robes touching the floor, their eyes fixed on the giant star map floating in the middle of the hall. The map was old, older than any living being in the room, and yet today it showed something new. Something terrifying. The elder named Vora, the oldest of them all, raised his trembling hand and pointed at the red symbol glowing on the map. His voice cracked as he spoke. It has started. The other elders looked at one another. Some whispered in fear, others in disbelief. They had seen many races rise and fall in the galaxy, but this symbol represented a species they did not fully understand, a species that grew too fast, learned too quickly, and refused to stop pushing forward. Humans. For thousands of years, humans lived on a small blue world, fighting their own wars, building their own hopes, and dreaming of the stars. No one believed they would ever escape the limits of their world. No one thought they would one day stand among the great spacefaring races. But now the red symbol showed something different. A human ship had crossed the ancient star barrier, something even the strongest alien races struggled to do. The elders leaned closer as Vora whispered again. The prophecy, it is waking. The youngest elder, Ralos, stepped forward. His voice was softer than the others, but full of fear. Elder Vora, do you truly believe the humans are the ones spoken of in the old writings? Vora nodded slowly. The old writings spoke of a race that rises like fire, a race that refuses defeat, a race that will reach the stars even if the universe tries to stop them. A cold wind passed through the hall, even though there were no windows. The elders felt the weight of those words. Humans were not known for great technology or ancient magic. They were known for something far more dangerous, willpower. Meanwhile, far away from the elder hall, Earth was glowing with life and activity. Humans worked day and night on giant space platforms, building ships that could travel faster than light. Their cities shined with tall towers and bright lights. Their scientists discovered new energy sources every month. Their pilots trained in deep space simulators, pushing their bodies to the limit. To humans, this was progress. To the elders, this was a warning. Back in the hall, Elder Mira touched the glowing map. Why do the humans rise so fast? What drives them? Vora closed his eyes. Their planet was full of struggle. They learned to grow in danger. They learned to rise after falling. The universe shaped them for this moment. Some elders shook their heads. They did not believe humans were a threat. They thought humans were too emotional, too chaotic, too young to matter. Elder Harn laughed, his voice echoing through the hall. Humans? Unstoppable? Impossible. They fight each other more than they explore. They break things. They argue. They cannot even control their own world. How can such a race become a danger to the stars? But Vora did not smile. He knew something most did not. He had watched humanity for centuries, quietly observing from afar. He had seen their wars, their pain, and their tragedies. But he had also seen their growth, their unity, and their strength. Humans do not rise because everything is easy, Vora said softly. They rise because everything is hard. The younger elders fell silent. At that moment, the star map flickered again. A new shape appeared, a massive human carrier ship launching from Earth. Its engines glowed bright blue as it disappeared into deep space. The hall shook slightly as if the map itself reacted to the event. Ralos gasped. They have launched another one. That makes 6 ships this cycle. And they are not stopping, Mira added with a worried face. Every day they build more. The elders watched the map change, showing the path of the human ships moving deeper into unexplored space. Each ship represented a step closer to the prophecy the elders feared. Humans were supposed to stay on their world, Elder Harn muttered, anger in his voice. They were never meant to come this far. But Vora looked at him calmly. No species stays where destiny refuses to keep them. The hall grew quiet again. Outside, the twin moons of their planet rose high in the sky. Their soft light entered the cracks of the ancient stone, making the room feel colder. Suddenly, the map flashed bright red. A shockwave of light spread across the floating display. The elders jumped from their seats. Something had happened. Something big. Ralos quickly scanned the data. His voice shook. A human ship? It has crossed the starfall line. The starfall line was a barrier that stopped almost every known species from traveling farther. No one crossed it in the last 10,000 years. But humans did. The hall shook again as the elders processed the news. The prophecy whispered in their minds. When the humans cross the dark line, the galaxy will change forever. Mira stepped back, fear in her eyes. It has begun. Humans have entered the ancient zone. Vora stood tall even in his old age. This is not the end. He looked at the map, at the glowing red line, at the direction humanity was moving. This is the beginning of their rise. The elders stared silently as the human ship disappeared into the unknown, carrying a future that no prophecy could fully describe. And deep in their hearts they understood one truth. Once humanity started rising, nothing could stop them. The human ship that crossed the starfall line did not slow down. Its silver hull reflected the cold light of distant suns as it pushed deeper into the ancient zone. Inside that ship, Commander Hale stood in the control room, staring at the massive star charts glowing in front of him. He knew something historic had happened. No human had ever entered this part of the galaxy. No alien had crossed it in thousands of years, but humans had done it on their first attempt. Commander Hale smiled softly. "We did it," he whispered. The rest of the crew cheered. Some hugged each other, some cried, and some simply stared out the window at the unknown stars. They were the first humans to enter the forbidden zone, and they felt their hearts pounding with excitement and fear. Far away, in the Elder Hall, the news spread across every screen. The elders sat frozen as they watched the replay of the human ship breaking through the barrier. The shockwave it produced had reached dozens of star systems. Alien empires felt the vibration through their sensors. Even species that did not believe in prophecy now spoke the same words. Humans crossed it. Humans did the impossible. Elder Ralos watched the recording again and again. How did they survive the starfall energy storm? No ship survives that. They build different, Elder Mira whispered. Humans strengthen their ships as if they expect the universe to attack them. They do not expect peace, Vora added. They expect challenge. Meanwhile, the human crew continued exploring. They sent probes into dark nebula clouds. They scanned ancient ruins floating in space. They discovered strange, abandoned machines older than recorded history. Humanity had been in the ancient zone for only hours. Yet they already found things that other species searched for centuries. Commander Hale recorded a message for Earth. "This region is dangerous," he said calmly, "but rich with knowledge. If we learn even a little, it could change everything for us." The scientists on Earth listened with wide eyes. They had no idea the mission would succeed so fast. The engineering teams immediately prepared to send more ships. The leaders of Earth met in emergency rooms to discuss new possibilities. They were excited but also careful. They knew they were entering a part of space filled with mystery and danger. In the Elder Hall, the discussion was far less hopeful. "They will awaken things they should not," Elder Harn said with a trembling voice. "This zone was sealed for a reason." "Yes," Vora replied, "but humans do not follow old rules. They make their own path." The elders watched the latest transmission from Hale's ship. It showed a massive ring structure floating in darkness. It looked like a broken gate made of unknown metal. Humans scanned it and discovered that it could open portals to another region of space. The gate had been dead for millions of years, but their scanner showed it still held energy deep inside. "They found the Void Gate," Mira whispered in fear. "Even our ancestors feared it." Ralos looked confused. "Should we warn them?" Harn answered sharply. "Warn them? They will not listen. Humans only listen to themselves," but Vora shook his head. "Humans listen to truth. If danger is real, they respond with bravery. If knowledge is needed, they respond with curiosity. If someone needs help, they respond with heart." He paused before adding, "That is what makes them unstoppable." Inside the human ship, Captain Hale's crew prepared to send a drone into the Void Gate. The gate stood silent, a giant dead eye staring into the dark. The drone flew forward slowly, sending back pictures of swirling shadows and ancient symbols carved into the metal. Suddenly the gate pulsed, a ripple of energy spread across space. The screens in the human ship flickered. Alarm lights flashed. The crew gasped as the gate lit up with bright blue fire. "It's activating," a crew member shouted. Commander Hale steadied himself. "Hold position. Do not retreat." Outside, the once dead gate began to awaken. Its rings turned slowly, grinding like old gears. Light poured from the center, forming a swirling vortex. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Far away, sensors across the galaxy detected the activation. Alarms rang in alien empires. Ships changed their course. Leaders demanded reports. The elders stood up from their seats in shock. They opened the gate, Mira whispered. They did not open it, Vora corrected. They touched it. The gate opened itself. Harn slammed his staff on the floor. This is proof. Humans will bring destruction. That gate was sealed before the first empires existed. Why must humans disturb everything? Vora looked into the swirling vortex on the screen. Because humans are explorers. If they see a door, they open it. If they see a path, they walk it. And if the universe blocks that path, they break the block. Inside the ship, the vortex grew brighter. The crew watched it with awe. No one had seen such ancient power before. The drone captured shapes moving inside the light. Shadows of something large, slow, and alive. Commander Hale spoke calmly. Whatever is on the other side, we must be ready. His voice carried no fear. Only purpose. The elders replayed those words. They listened to the calm strength in his voice. They watched the human crew stand together, ready to face the unknown. And something deep in their hearts shifted. Mira whispered, "They are not rising to conquer." Ralos added, "They rise because they are not afraid to look into darkness." Vora nodded. And that is why the prophecy warned us. Not because humans destroy, but because humans endure. At that moment, the void gate released a final flash of light, and something massive began to emerge. The galaxy held its breath. Humanity was about to face what no one had faced for millions of years, and they stood ready. The moment the void gate opened, every sensor across dozens of star systems screamed with alerts. Space was calm 1 second and trembling the next. Waves of unknown energy traveled faster than any signal. Entire alien fleets paused mid-route. Scientists froze over their instruments. Leaders from the strongest empires stood speechless, because the void gate was never meant to wake again. Inside the human ship, Commander Hale and his crew watched the glowing vortex expand. The swirling blue light grew brighter until it filled the entire viewing window. The drone they sent inside sent back its final image before the feed cut out. Something enormous moving in the mist, a shadow with no shape. A presence older than all empires, something alive. Commander Hale calmly tightened his gloves. "Prepare shields, no fear, no retreat." His voice steadied the entire crew. Even with the unknown right in front of them, humans stood their ground like they always did. Far across the galaxy, the Elder Hall exploded into chaos. Elders shouted, shook, argued, and pointed at the glowing screens. They opened the ancient path. "The void beasts will awaken. This will destroy us all. Humans must stop now." But Elder Vora raised his voice above the shouting. "Enough!" The hall fell silent. Vora stared at the swirling gate. Humans did not open this. The gate responded to their presence. "Something in humanity called it." Ralos whispered, "Why them? Why humans?" Vora replied, "Because humans come from a world of storms, fire, fear, and constant danger. They understand struggle better than peace. The void recognizes that strength." Harn shook his head fiercely. "You speak as if they are chosen. Humans are reckless. This is their chaos." But Vora answered firmly, "Chaos does not always destroy. Sometimes chaos builds. Humans rise because they refuse to break." The elders took in his words, but fear grew heavier in the room. Across the galaxy, alien empires began emergency meetings. Screens lit the dark war rooms. Generals, queens, commanders, and kings gathered. For many species, this was the first time they all united in one cause: to understand humanity. A small insectoid empire declared, "Humans are too unpredictable. Today the gate opens. Tomorrow what else?" A reptilian warlord said, "Their spirit burns too bright. If we do not act now, they will out-evolve every species." A gentle aquatic race whispered, "Humans do not wish for war. They only wish to survive." But an ancient metallic species stated coldly, "Survival for them is expansion." For the first time in thousands of years, the galaxy was not debating a war. It was debating a species. Meanwhile, in Hale's ship, the gate grew calm again. The swirling energy slowed as if choosing what to reveal. Suddenly the light parted and a massive object floated out. An ancient vessel made of black stone and silver markings. It was not alive, yet it felt alive. The crew gasped. A living ruin. How is it still intact? The ship was older than the stars around it. It carried symbols that no human or alien language fully matched. It looked broken yet powerful, like a sleeping giant finally stirring. Commander Hale stepped closer to the screen. Record everything. Do not provoke. Observe only. Even in the face of something huge, Hale did not panic. He acted with purpose, with quiet strength, with discipline. It was this strange, calm bravery that spread like wildfire across alien news networks. Clips of Hale saying no retreat were replayed millions of times. Alien children whispered, "Why aren't humans afraid?" Alien soldiers said, "If that were us, we would have run." Humanity, once ignored, now stood in a spotlight so bright the whole galaxy watched. Back in the Elder Hall, Mira studied the ancient ship. Her voice shook with awe. "This is a void sentinel. It existed before our oldest records. It was built to guard the gate." Harn's eyes widened. "If the sentinel awakens fully, entire planets can fall." Ralos whispered, "Humans must escape before—" But Vora raised a hand. "Watch them." The sentinel drifted closer to Hale's ship. Its surface glowed with slow pulses of silver. Symbols lit up row by row like an ancient heart learning to beat again. Inside the human ship, the sound system vibrated with deep echoes, tones, hums, and rhythmic pulses, almost like a voice, trying to speak. The crew held their breath. The sentinel reached out a beam of soft light toward the human ship. Not a weapon, a scanner. When the beam touched the human ship, the symbols across the sentinel's hull lit brighter. More lines activated. More patterns awakened. Commander Hale spoke quietly. "It's reading us," but carefully, as if curious. Suddenly, the scanning beam turned brighter and directed itself toward Hale. The crew panicked. "Commander, step back." But Hale remained still. The light scanned him from head to toe. Then it blinked once and faded. The sentinel stopped glowing. Every symbol darkened at the same time. The massive ship drifted back slowly as if bowing. Hale whispered, "It recognized us." On alien networks, the moment spread instantly. Millions of beings watched the ancient sentinel lower itself before the humans. The reactions were stunning. The ancient guardian submitted. Humans awakened it, and it bowed. This cannot be real. They must be the species the prophecy warned about. In the Elder Hall, Mira covered her mouth in shock. Ralos whispered, "If a void sentinel recognizes humans, then humanity truly is special." Harn sank into his seat speechless as if his beliefs crumbled. But Vora smiled for the first time. "The prophecy was never about human destruction," he said. "It was about human spirit." He looked at the screen, at Hale's calm face, at the sentinel floating around his ship like a guardian. "The galaxy fears what it does not understand," Vora whispered. "But humans face the unknown head-on, and the unknown respects that." The galaxy watched in silence as the sentinel positioned itself alongside the human ship, an ancient guardian choosing humanity as its new companion. A bond unseen for millions of years had formed, and with that bond, everything was about to change. The ancient void sentinel floated beside the human ship like a silent titan awakening from a dream. Its dark stone surface glowed with new life, pulsing in slow waves that matched the rhythm of the stars. Inside the human ship, the crew watched with a mix of awe and fear, unable to fully understand what had just happened. Commander Hale stood with steady eyes. "We do not attack. We do not run. We move with respect." His calm voice spread confidence through every crew member. They adjusted controls with careful hands. No one dared act aggressively. Even though they had awakened something older than memory, humanity chose patience over panic. Across the galaxy, however, patience was rare. Every empire was in chaos. Leaders argued loudly behind closed doors. Armies prepared without knowing what they were preparing for. Rumors spread like fire. Humans awakened a guardian. The sentinel bowed to them. What if humans command ancient powers now? What if the prophecy is real? Entire star networks shifted to emergency broadcasts. Even species who rarely cared about galactic politics were glued to their screens, watching humanity's every movement. In the Elder Hall, the atmosphere shifted from fear to something far more complicated. No one spoke for a moment. They simply watched the sentinel drift protectively near the human ship. For thousands of years, the sentinel obeyed no living being. Yet now, it moved for humans. Finally, Ralos whispered, "What does this mean?" Vora closed his eyes. "It means the universe has accepted humanity's rise." Harn gripped his staff tightly. "Rise, Vora, this is control. They will conquer everything with ancient weapons." Vora shook his head slowly. Humans did not demand anything from the sentinel. They earned its respect. Earned? Harn snapped. "How?" "By showing no fear," Vora replied. "By standing in front of the unknown and refusing to step back." The sentinel recognized something inside them. Something powerful, but not evil. The elders fell silent again. Meanwhile, the void sentinel finally opened a large circular panel on its surface. A holographic map projected into space, a map older than any star chart known. Its symbols were not written in any alien language. Yet somehow the human scanners began decoding parts of it. Commander Hale leaned forward. "Is it giving us a path?" The sentinel turned slightly, pointing toward a region of space completely dark and unmarked. No empire had ever entered that region. It was considered empty space, dead and forgotten, but the sentinel insisted. The crew looked at Hale. He took a slow breath. "Set our course. We follow the path." The engines flared blue and the ship moved forward. The sentinel followed. Across the galaxy, shockwaves of fear turned into something unexpected. Curiosity, even respect. Many alien civilians began saying strange things. Maybe humans are not conquerors. Maybe they are meant for something bigger. Maybe the old stories were wrong, but the leaders were not ready to accept that. Within hours, a powerful alien empire gathered its war fleets and launched them into space. Their ships were large, sharp, and built for destruction. Their commander, a being named Cravan, spoke with a cold voice. Humanity must be stopped before they become the center of the galaxy. He sent a message to the human ship. "This is the Cravan Dominion. You will stop immediately and return to your space. Your rise ends here." Hale received the message. He listened calmly, then replied with equal calm. "We are not here to fight you. We explore, we learn. We help those in danger. If you attack us, we will defend ourselves. But remember, violence is your choice, not ours." His message spread across the galaxy in seconds. Many aliens whispered, "Humans. Speak with such strength." Not threats, strength, but Cravan was not moved. His fleet surrounded Hale's ship from all sides. Thousands of glowing weapons aimed at the humans. The elders watched helplessly. "If they fire," Mira whispered, "it will start a war that none of us can control." Harn nodded grimly. "Humans will fight back, and with that sentinel, nothing will stop them." But Vora stared at the screen, deep in thought. "No. Watch the humans." The Cravan Dominion charged their weapons. Commander Hale gave no orders to attack. He said only one thing: "Raise shields. Stand firm." The crew obeyed. But just as the Dominion ships prepared to fire, the Void Sentinel moved. It positioned itself between the humans and the attacking fleet like a guardian defending its child. Ancient symbols across its hull blazed bright silver. For the first time in millions of years, the Sentinel awakened fully. A deep rumbling sound shook the space around them, felt more than heard. Dominion ships trembled. Their engines flickered. Their weapons powered down against their will. Cravan shouted, "What is happening?" But it was too late. The Sentinel unleashed a sound, a single, long, echoing tone that traveled like a wave across the battlefield. It was not an attack. It was a warning full of ancient authority. When the tone faded, every Dominion ship drifted helplessly, unable to fire, unable to move. The Sentinel did not harm anyone. It simply disabled them as if brushing away dust. Commander Hale spoke calmly. "We do not wish war, but we will not turn back." The Dominion troops stared in fear. They realized the truth. Humanity was not unstoppable because of weapons. Humanity was unstoppable because the universe itself responded to their courage. Back in the Elder Hall, Vora said softly, "Now the galaxy understands." Harn lowered his head. "We judged them wrong." Ralos whispered, "Maybe humans are not the danger. Maybe they are the hope." The Sentinel moved forward again. The human ship followed. And in that moment, the galaxy accepted something it could no longer deny. Humanity did not rise to rule. Humanity rose to explore, to protect, to push forward when others stepped back, to become a force the stars themselves respected. Commander Hale looked out at the bright path ahead and spoke the final words that echoed across countless worlds. Onward. Humanity does not stop, and the rise continued.